Hello, everybody. My name is Saint Lucky, or at least I'd hope you know that, as this would be a very weird first introduction to the channel. Just me kind of giving you a few life updates and talking about my poor recording habits. It's been a while, to say the least. About 24 days. At least that's what YouTube tells me. So many of you might be wondering, who aren't in the Discord, hey, where did you go? Truth is, I went nowhere. We have been, and as in we, I mean me, I have been recently going back and forth with a pretty decent job offer. I don't know why I'm downplaying it. It's a very nice, very amazing job offer. I have been given the opportunity to teach at the college level business and finance. And so a lot of these past 20 days has just been kind of like preparation, training the people at my current job to do that, going back and forth with the paperwork and the background checks, because there's a lot of that in the education industry, to ensure that I guess I'm, no kid diddler, which is, fair enough. I also wouldn't want a kid diddler teaching my students. So we've just kind of been running back and forth a lot. So the reason it's been taking so long isn't necessarily just because it's a new job, but it's a faraway one. Currently, without giving you too much information, you psychopaths, I'm moving from the East Coast all the way over to the Midwest-ish. It's not exactly Midwest, but it's not on the coast either. I'm not giving you more than that because I never know, out of the 400 of you watching, if any of you are possible psychopaths. So this is just an amazing opportunity, and I wanted to share that with you. We're very excited. I've been in business. That's a very general statement. I've been working in just general business and finance for only about, I want to say 4 years now. 3 maybe. And it's always kind of been a dream of mine to teach within higher education itself, as I really enjoyed the environment. I always loved the teachers, and I always loved the concept of self-improving. I thought when I was in college I was going to just go into finance and be one of those finance bros, make $1 gazillion day one. But then I discovered business political spaces, and I don't mean like, liberals versus conservatives, more so just the amount of brown nosing, tiptoeing, and I hated it. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. It's awful. It's just one big rigmarole of people masquerading around each other, and it feels awful. And people who know me very closely, and maybe those of you that watch the channel very consistently would know, I'm a very honest man. If you ask me things, even more personal questions, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I will spare your feelings. Like, I'm not going to say something just rude, but I'm just going to tell you what you need to hear. And so having to really just not be me in a lot of those settings. Granted, the last one was amazing because I didn't really have a boss. I just had a board of supervisors. It's just an awful feeling having to go into work every day and pretend to be someone you're not. It's not even like retail, because I've worked in retail as well, where, you have to put on a face for the customers, but the second they go away, you can drop the face around your coworkers. But in the business space, you can't even drop it around them because you don't know who's going to be the one to, tell your boss what you said so they could get a leg up. And so it's very disingenuous. And the one location I was at, I'm not going to mention names or businesses, of course, it legitimately sent me into a depression. And that was kind of one of the reasons I even started YouTube, was because after that, I needed something to put me back on my feet. I needed something to really do that felt productive and creative and honest. And so actually, I think it was during my time there I started doing this. In terms of recording, I know I do not have the most consistent schedule as I'd like it to be. We've always shot for, well, not always, but more recently, the goal has usually been to record and have a video posted Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend. I do work a full-time job. As much as I'd love to do every day, it's not really feasible. And as I'm sure most of you know, we haven't really been sticking to that schedule. And the reason mainly being there's two of them. One is, I currently live with my family. It's the housing market. I'm a 27-year-old man living with his parents. Boo-hoo. Houses are $2 grillion. So the issue is that my door is right next to the kitchen, literally right in front of it. And so there's hardly a time in the day that I can record that there's not just a million people in there talking, crashing dishes, just being generally loud. And of course, it's not reasonable of me to be like, hey guys, quiet down. I'm playing Poop Killer 3 and I need the audio to be perfect. So some days I've legitimately had recording days where I sat down to record a 20-minute video and I'm looking at OBS and it's saying I've hit the 3-hour marker because either I've had to pause or restart that many times. And of course, I'm not blaming my family whatsoever. This is their house. I'm a guest. I love them. They love me. I would never ask them to do something like that. And so most of the time, if I really wanted to get a recording in, it has to be after 11 at night or 12 a.m., which again, not a very good option because I have work the next morning. I have to be up at 6 or 7. So that's where a lot of times you'll see like maybe a video will be posted a day later. I'll perhaps skip a recording day. The other reason, if I'm being quite honest, is just poor habits. It's not something, creating good habits like a schedule like this is something very difficult to do, especially when, you don't have someone telling you to do it. You don't really have any more incentive other than, this is something that I want to do. I'm a very lazy man. I know that. I love being lazy. I'd sleep all day if I could. But this is something I'd like to at least say, you know what, I really gave it my all on. And I've noticed actually an odd trend is that whenever it seems a video does very well, all of a sudden I'm just like, man, I did really good there. And then I will just take a long break for some reason. I don't know if it's like fear of success or something, but like, I've had plenty of moments where I'll record an indie game and like I'll get 1.8 thousand views on it and a bunch of new subscribers, and I'm like, yes, that's awesome. And then I will drop the ball and not record for a week, and I can only guess that maybe it's a fear of success because I genuinely don't know what it is. Maybe I feel like I did such a good job, I deserve a week off, as if this is a hard thing to do. The latest one was TikTok. A buddy of mine named Trenton, who's actually edited a few videos. If you look at some of the older series, I think like Red Dead Revolver, you'll see his name at the beginning. He showed me and my buddies a clip of him and my buddy Matthew playing Ready or Not. And I said, oh, you know what? This would be really funny. Could I edit this and post it to TikTok? And he's like, yeah, sure. That'd be cool. And I do. And I get 400,000 views, thousands of likes, comments on it. And I'm like, wow, I guess they're more interesting than me. No, but it's great. I'm glad I got the views. I don't actually view it that way. It's a funny clip, but the second it popped off, I got into that mindset again. And I don't know what it is. I wish I did. I'm sure there's smarter people than me that know about it, like know more about that kind of concept of the habitual stuff and why we do certain things. But I'm not that smart in that aspect, so I can only guess. If you'd like to self-diagnose me, please do so in the comments. But going back to the positives, we're moving to the Midwest-ish, meaning I'm going to have an apartment all to myself. And what that means is I don't really have to worry too much about recording schedules. Well, or sorry, not recording schedules, but like what time of the day I have to record, as no one else is going to be in the house with me. And that was kind of another reason why we didn't really do a lot of streams, or when we did, they're always like in the late AMs. Oh my God, I can already hear my dog starting to whine. Another reason I'm happy to get out of here. Yep, and now my mother's coming out to let the dogs out to run around a bit because they're whining. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this was just meant to be a quick 15-minute video, yet like the impeccable timing of this household dictates, oh, he's recording. We need to start making some noise. Again, not a slight against them. I love every single one of them so much. But this is just part of the issue with the whole scheduling thing. And especially with videos where it's like, if I'm doing an indie horror game, I really want to get in the mood, set it. You know, I want things to be scary, but it's hard to, you know, get in that mood if you can hear my father in the kitchen listening or watching TikToks. You know, no one really wants to hear that. So because we won't really have to worry about that anymore, we're going to hopefully move back to the video schedule of Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend. A video each one of those days. Same as we've been doing, where we're just going to be mainly focusing on indie games. As well as one of my goals to shoot for is I do want to stream. One of my biggest goals with this channel, with being an online personality, is that I've wanted to have a community. I've always wanted to start a community of people who can come together and just do fun stuff. That's why, you know, I have the Discord and I link it in just about every video, as well as this one. It will be in the description as always, to come by and say hi. And I'm always talking in there. I'm always updating more in there than I am here, because I don't want to make a video every time I have an update. Otherwise, we just have a bunch of 2-minute videos. And so I'm going to try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the late afternoon/evening, opposed to, like I said, our weekend, like 2 a.m. streams. So that is going to be something moving forward I'd like to see, because like I said, I think it'd just be fun if we could kind of get more of a community going and really just have fun together, because I love the comments. I love interacting with each and every one of you. I get we're not the hugest planet channel around. We're not the biggest planet around. We're not the biggest channel around, but 400 subscribers, 398 now, because 2 people have not liked the 25-day wait, or 24, I can't remember. But 400 people's a lot. Like that's an auditorium of people. And that's crazy to me, to think like there's an auditorium of you that have basically made the commitment, the goal to say, yes, I'd like to subscribe to this guy. I'd like to see more of him. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy how many of you there are. And so I wanted to thank each and every one of you. And I love interacting with you. I love seeing the comments. I mean, if you look at any video, I pretty much respond to just about every comment that there is, unless it's just hard to respond to, or if it's one of my close friends that's just commenting something stupid. because I want to hear from you guys. I want to know your game suggestions. I want to know what you think. I just like talking to people. I think it's just something fun to do. Speaking of which, in terms of the community, I am looking... Yep, we got to be loud in the kitchen now. I am looking for a shorts/TikTok video editor. And I do want to preface, because I don't want to curveball anyone, sideswipe you. We're working on a low budget here. So if you're someone with a little experience or not looking for a massive pay, there is pay. Then there will be that opportunity, and I would recommend you take a look in the description of the Discord, or take a look in the description and visit the Discord, as that's where I'll just kind of be discussing it with anyone who is interested moving forward. You know what, honest to God, I read my little notes here and then I stared at my desk and I just went completely blank. That was actually incredible. Just my last 2 brain cells just into the air. But moving. But today we are actually moving. Today is the moving day, Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. And it will be quite the long trip, about 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, depending on how long it takes. And we should get back into videoing and streaming really quickly. Should. Never know what's going to happen, but we should once I get there. So I should get there on Friday or Saturday, because I have a month until college starts. So I don't really have anything to do for that month other than get acclimated to the new state and just hopefully start pumping out videos, start doing streams. And then hopefully when school does start, I don't absolutely destroy my habits and schedules and stop adhering to them. But I'll keep you all updated, because I don't know what the schedule looks like in terms of my actual teaching. I don't know how many night classes I'll have to teach. I don't know how many, morning to afternoon classes. That'll just have to be determined when the semester starts. And of course, I'll keep you guys posted as much as possible. Chances are, again, it'll be in the Discord. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just the easiest way for me to communicate these things to you guys. I'm not going to make a YouTube video or a post on YouTube every time there's some kind of update like that. But also when we start streaming again, it will be on YouTube as well as Twitch. Speaking of which, I do need to find an artist. I'll probably just get a close buddy of mine, unless someone else pops out of the woodworks, to kind of get some art done for Twitch. So we're all set up on that front. And we're just going to have a grand old time. This is a new chapter in the book of us, you, me, the guy standing behind you. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I really do hope that we're going to just kick it off on the ground running. I would love to just really get the habits solid, posting every Tuesday, Thursday, weekend, streaming 3 times a week, and then posting plenty of shorts and TikToks for you guys to enjoy, because I know I enjoy them. And now he's barking. He enjoys them too. It's my dog Dash. Very bold. But I think that's about all I have. If you have any concerns, any questions, I don't know why I'm saying that like it's a negative thing. I don't know. My mind's a bit scrambly, if you couldn't tell right now. With everything that's been going on, it's, we've been running around a lot. Yesterday, I just spent the entire day gathering shit from the store, from my own personal collection, and such. And my mother's texting me. So if I'm constantly going and stuttering and repeating sentences, most of which I'll probably cut out and post, there's just a lot going on in terms of moving. But otherwise, we're really good. We're super excited. I'm super happy for you all to follow me on this journey, and I hope we continue to have plenty of fun and exciting moments together. So, thank you again. I do really appreciate all 398 of you. Yes, I'm not including the 2 that left. They can suck it. And hopefully, I'll continue to see you all in the future. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.